Moo.
Alright, we're here with Shane Young at Rackspace this week. Woohoo! So Shane, tell us who you are, tell us about SharePoint 911. What do you do?
Well, first off, Jeff, I want to know why I don't have a studio audience in here. You can always do your laugh tracks and stuff. I want to tell dumb jokes. Yeah, whatever. Alright, so I am Shane Young. I am a SharePoint MVP. Woohoo! Woohoo! I work for, own, I guess, all those fun things. SharePoint 911, nice, fun little consulting company that spans the globe, helping people out with SharePoint and their problems. We also do some training stuff. We do a lot of content creation stuff. A lot of the cool new secret stuff that you'll see on 2010 very soon. We did it. So enjoy all that fun stuff. So that is kind of who we are in a very quick nutshell. You know, no one cares. So sorry.
All right, so let's say somebody's new to SharePoint. You've done what? Probably more than 3 installs up to this point. You've seen a few.
Done a couple.
You get called on a daily basis to fix other people's SharePoint environments a lot of times.
One of my favorite tasks.
Hence the 911 in SharePoint 911. So what are 3 or so things that advice that you could give to somebody to help them help keep them out of trouble?
Help keep them out of trouble. So probably the most common thing we see, right, consistent across the board, is not managing their SQL servers. Right? We all know this now. All of your SharePoint data lives in SQL Server. It's not a secret, but for the most part, my SharePoint administrators, we completely ignore SQL Server because it just kind of sits over here and works. It's probably not the best method, right? We need to be monitoring those databases, backing them up, doing typical SQL stuff maintenance. Also, a little secret, your performance issues. It's always SQL Disk I/O. Everyone who has a decent farm, SQL Disk I/O is the bottleneck. So,
well, piggyback on that then. So how do you optimize SharePoint for SQL for Disk I/O?
So there's a pretty cool white paper out there that kind of works through some of those things. And they've actually started, as of Service Pack 2, starting to build in more timer jobs and stuff that help a little bit. But really it's your SQL best practices, right? So if you think about the idea of spreading your transaction logs and your data files onto 2 separate physical spindles, you get performance benefits there. Optimizing TempDB. SharePoint, that's the most highly used database in a SharePoint farm, is TempDB, one of those stupid SQL databases that no one knows what they do. Optimize that guy and get more performance out of it. So, you should be thinking about SQL.
Excellent. Any other tips you have for keeping out of trouble?
A couple other quick and easy ones. Keep everything off the C drive, or keep as much off the C drive as you can. Right? By default, all your usage reporting, all your logs, all your events, everything's always getting rid to the C drive. C drive blows up, your farm goes boom.
Now some stuff you can keep out of there, stuff outside of common files, Microsoft shared web server extensions. So some stuff just goes there.
Right, but you can move the biggest items out of there are the ULS logs, so 12/logs. So you can go to central admin and say take the diagnostic logs and put them on the D or the E or the F drive.
Right.
I've more than once seen somebody whose farm got mad at them, right? They weren't saying nice things to it. They said they looked fat in that dress or something. And it just filled up the log files. It started generating 5 gig log files repeatedly. 5 times 96, which is the default number you can keep. It's a big number.
It's a big number.
You don't have that on your C drive.
No.
So get the stuff off your log things. A couple other quick ones. Watch your event logs. Event Viewer, he tells you when SharePoint's mad. If you will watch those on a regular basis, you're going to get a lot of hints of what's going on. Also, Service Packs for your friends. You should all be on Service Pack 2. There's no excuse. Get there, be happy.
Service Pack 2 V2.
Service Pack 2 V2, yeah. Not moving on.
Moving on. All right, so let's say somebody has been enjoying the goodness that is SharePoint from an end user perspective. They've been helping out in their departments. They realize that SharePoint is where they want to be. What's some advice you have for somebody who wants to learn more about SharePoint? Where should they go? How can they prepare?
So I think the biggest thing that I often tell people about that is you need to embrace what SharePoint can do out of the box. Most consultants, most SharePoint administrators, they have no idea what SharePoint does. They don't know that it has surveys or that it has discussion boards or how to use the content query web part to aggregate content. These are very simple customizations that you can make that really get you big wins, and they don't cost any dev. So if you want to get better at SharePoint, embrace the what can it do out of the box, right? Understand that type of stuff. Another thing that we often encourage people is have some focus. SharePoint is too big to get your arms around, right? You are not, if you're watching this video right now, you're never going to know everything SharePoint can do. End of discussion. You're never going to be good at everything SharePoint can do. It's not possible. Somebody out there's going, I can do it. You're lying. So what I tell people is you need to have focus. Are you interested in branding? Then focus and learn the branding stuff. Are you interested in administration? Go learn the admin stuff. Try and learn something and something very well. Understand there's these other pieces that bolt on, but don't try and learn the whole product at once. There's no learn SharePoint 21-day book. It doesn't happen.
Not going to happen.
So, and for my network type of people, there's a lot of other skills that you can really bring to the table if you want to be a good SharePoint IT admin, system admin. Come work at Rackspace and their team. You need to understand SQL Server, Active Directory, IIS, hardware, things like when I said disk spindles. What does that mean? You're in trouble, right? Just network problems, right? We have a lot of people who have issues because they don't understand that one server on one end of the data center and the other, the SharePoint server on this end, the SQL database on that end, and we've got 47 hops, and we transitioned from a gig network to 100 megabit back to a gig, and that causes legitimate problems in SharePoint. Does everybody hear Jeff's iPhone ringing? All right. The other thing is, if you're going to be good at SharePoint, swear off sleeping. Sleeping's overrated, so say goodbye to that.
Excellent. All right. So, as you mentioned already, we're standing on the very deep precipice of SharePoint 2010.
Precipice. Can you spell that?
No, I can't. That's why I'm in SharePoint. I'm still trying to figure out why the P is capitalized. At any rate, as you start looking at SharePoint 2010, and that's a really neat cup. Can you show that to the? Yeah, I like that. That's what you call product placement.
What is this Expo marker? Do they pay for this too?
Yeah, not so much. All right, thanks for pointing that out. Next is, so what are the things, I have two questions here. One question in two parts. First, what are things that people can do to prepare for SharePoint 2010 as it stares us blindly in the face? And then two, what are some things as people move into SharePoint 2010 that they shouldn't be doing?
Oh, so this is where Jeff is trying to get me to violate his NDA, right? If you looked right now, Jeff's over there, he's not even wearing a shirt, he's like doing this weird motions trying to get me to answer these questions. It's very inappropriate. So is me telling you. So one of the big things, right, we know, if you go out and look on the SharePoint team blog, they've already started to release things, facts, right? Next version's only going to be 64-bit. It's only going to run on Windows Server 2008 or later. It's only going to run on SQL 2005 or later. Also 64-bit, right? So these are some very quick, easy, tangible things that you guys need to be embracing, right? Your SharePoint 2007 farm is probably not on the pure 64-bit across the board, right? Unless you're hosting somewhere cool like Rackspace who has those capabilities. So you need to decide, do you want to upgrade your 2007s, hardware and infrastructure to be ready for that? Do you want to go ahead and bust your capital budget and start getting the balls rolling to get you some 64-bit hardware so you're ready to go? You need to be asking these questions. The other thing you need to be asking is, whatever day that magical beta falls from the sky, the clouds part and we get the beta, can you play with the beta? What do I mean? Do you have Windows 2008 64-bit and SQL 2008 64-bit running in stable, in Hyper-V or something like that, ready to go? So as soon as those bits go, you can grab them as fast as you want, put them on the machine, and play with 2010.
With a lot of RAM.
With a lot of RAM. Or are you going to be those people that are cussing, saying, well, all my VMs are 32-bit, I can't play with that stuff. And then you're going to do 64-bit for the first time and be like, well, I don't understand, I have drivers. And then you're going to have a bad SharePoint experience because your underlying foundation is bad.
So learn 64-bit Windows 2008. Moral of the story. Now, there's been a little talk this week as you've been hanging out with us at Rackspace around DC promo. And does it matter?
That was rude. Look at that. On video, you got a nice little Cody my drink. Thank you, Jeff. I hate you.
Doesn't matter, really. So promoting a server.
Such a jerk.
Got him. So promoting a server to an Active Directory server when it's doing other things.
So what Jeff is trying to say that now he's over there so tickled with himself, he's like patting himself on the back. He's doing this number. Yeah.
Gonna get a high five.
Where's the studio audience? is Jeff in the VM that he has been playing with from time to time has been known to have SQL and all that fun stuff already laying down. And then he's like, oh, okay, well now I need to DC promo it, and then play with it. It's a horrible idea, right? I had to pop Jeff on the hand. That's the reason he made me spill stuff. Is you want to get your Windows 2008 box DC promo, then install SQL. Don't even bother installing anything else. Just
Even IIS, though. Nothing.
nothing. I would just have a box that had Windows 2008 and SQL.
Nothing.
64-bit, across the board, ready to go. And then we'll roll
Standing for whenever that mythological date is that it falls from the sky.
forward. Yes.
It'd be beautiful. All right, Shane, thanks for taking a few minutes. Anything else you have to share?
Moo.